It's Radio 2, and this is where we say warm welcome. And here we are again to Blur.
Who'd have thunk it?
Who'd have thunk it? Wow, I'm having massive flashbacks now to quite a long time ago. And you must have had that all day long.
It's 14, is it 14 years since we last made a record together?
Yeah, wow.
No, 16, I think.
Lower and lower that long.
16 years since we made
Hey, when did you get to, it was 89, right?
that was first rehearsrsal, yeah.
Yeah.
1989.
Yeah. And you've hardly changed, hardly aged at all. Look at you.
I think it was earlier than that. I think it was 88.
Yeah, I think the first, we were signed in 89, weren't we?
Yeah, we were signed in 88.
Actually, yes, it was. December 88.
Yeah.
No, it's December 88.
That was the first gig in the Railway Museum.
We were an 80s band then.
Yeah, before you transmogrified into a 90s band. How's your day been? It's been quite a momentous day for you.
You know, we sort of had to, at some point, say we've made a record again.
But it's incredible that we managed to finish it and without anybody finding out.
But I mean, we sort of, you know, it's just such a sort of odd way to make a record, in the sense that it started with 5 days of just playing around in the studio in Hong Kong. We only did that because we had nothing else to do, because we'd had a gig cancelled on us and we were in Hong Kong, and we didn't want to fly back to London because our next gig was in Jakarta, so it sort of made sense to stay there. And you know, I suppose it was that lack of pressure and that sort of just for the joy of being playing together that we did it, that sort of has been imbued into the finished result.
You said at the time that you didn't know what you'd say. I've got a quote here. Says you don't know what I'd say. No, I don't know what I'd sing about now without record.
I didn't know what I didn't know what to sing about.
Yeah.
But then Graham, this is your.
Go on, Graham. Join in.
Yeah. After those 5 days, which we just sort of emptied. Anyway, yeah. After we come back from Hong Kong, there was just this period of time where this stuff was just sat, I guess, doing nothing, and we all went back to our lives.
Rotting.
And it was, well, we like to say, someone has said gestating, and all the other one maturing, fermenting. I just felt the need to explore it, have a look at it, but didn't really know. I just thought it would be a little bit like, you know, putting Tracying a great sprawling blooming diary or something, really. And so I had a word with Damon and said, look, you know, how about I just have a go, take it into the studio, and what do you reckon? And
I went, brilliant idea, because nothing else is going to happen unless you do that. So
okay, so Graham's powering it through.
There's nothing to lose, and I thought, well, I've got to take this, and it's overwhelming. I thought that was the thing. I need to have somebody who will be able to help in organising all of this chaos, because it was a lot. It was something like 20-minute kind of pieces.
But your gut instinct said that there was good in there. That, you know, obviously it felt really good when you were doing it.
It was a good time, and I wanted to see if it felt like it was a good time by listening to it again. And it was a definite blur, but a different blur in space and time. It's like science fiction for me. It was like something different. It's familiar, but it's from a little bit somewhere else.
In what way? Is it a progression in some way?
Some sounds are going to be familiar, other sounds are going to be unlike we've really put on records before.
Yeah. Okay. So you and Stephen Street were working on it together.
Yeah. So we put a few weeks into it, and
sorry, Alex and Dave, what was going on with you at this time?
I was learning how to play the bass with a bow.
With the bow?
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw the only trace I had of it was that I took a camera to Hong Kong, and Stuart, the drum tech, had filmed some of us playing in the studio, and I could just hear this amazing music that I couldn't remember doing. It was like so obviously completely brilliant, and it felt like the best stuff we'd ever done when we were doing it. And it just suddenly, once it had finished, everybody was on to the next thing, and it just was in danger of never being anything at all.
Sorry, so when did you all come together again with the lyrics? So Damon, when did you write the lyrics then?
No, yesterday we came back together.
So you come back together again.
Speaking to the microphone, if you don't mind for me.
Alex and David done bits with Graham and Stephen, and then Graham and Stephen came in to my studio, and they said, listen to this. I was quite nervous, obviously, because I didn't know what to expect, and I hadn't really listened to what we'd done, because I'd moved on to something else sort of almost immediately after we'd left that particular moment in time. And I listened to it, and it was with some trepidation and sort of personal kind of horror that I realised that it was really good, and I couldn't honestly turn my back on it at all. I had to really get into it, you know.
It's a brave move,
because I thought that, you know, we'd finished. I had actually finished that chapter. But it was so good, I had to kind of, you know, and it did feel a bit daunting because I've been doing this thing at the National Theatre, which I'm still working on. So I thought, well, how am I going to do it? And I was on tour with Everyday Robots, so there's quite a lot going on at once. But I sort of, at the end of the tour I was doing, I was in Australia, so it made sense to go back to Hong Kong. So I went back on my way home at Christmas and just sort of got in a kind of trance and just relived everything. Went the same route to the studio and travelled around Hong Kong, and just everything from the memories of there coming back and other visits and other times in Hong Kong, because I've been there a lot of times over the years with various things. I just put it all together and I just wrote, and then I sang, and then we mix, and then we came mastered yesterday, and now we're here.
You only mastered it yesterday?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And Graham, how are you feeling about it now?
It got it in some ways. It's like I didn't really think it'd make it this far. I just thought maybe there was nothing to it, and then it wasn't going to carry on. Damon was like, I don't like what you've done.
I really liked it.
And but so
really
each
good
stage of it it's grown, and then when Damon got hold of it, put vocals on, added other bits and that, and it started to grow and start to sound even more beautiful, and even more the things that it needed to be at any given time throughout. It got more.
How many years we saying it is? 16 years.
You're settling on 16,
the longer you leave it, the bigger thing it becomes to go back to it.
Normally, it's sort of it's a miracle baby. This one, it's not. It's very late on in the relationship, and no one expected it, you know. But it's come and it's made everyone's life brighter.
But you got to hope everybody likes this baby as well, don't you?
We love it.
So you don't care,
We
really.
don't care.
And when I said I was coming to interview you, I was with someone and they went, "Oh, they run out of money then." And that was they said, so would you like to set this straight?
Hardly.
It's right for you to say that. But it's not. It's simply that you've made this record.
Oh, well, all right.
Who said that?
Anyone who wants to wants to say that, you know,
The proof is in the pudding.
It's their prerogative, but I mean, blimey.
No, but it couldn't be further from the truth. It's because you believe in the song, the album that you've made.
I'm not even going.
It was just such a joyous thing, just going into the studio together after such a long time and just absolutely smashing it. You know, it was so intense, and we just got so involved in it, and
yeah, it was joyous, but actually. It's not exactly a joyous thing to travel through Hong Kong and go underneath water on the tube and things like that, is it? So it's a lot of different feelings. It was sort of joyous and great fun, but it was also you're collecting all these sensations on your way, and it's like
it's about one of the most extraordinary cities.
How would you describe Hong Kong then? What it's like for people who have never been there?
Record. No, it's I don't know. It's something about making a record in a country in a city very far from home, and I think in a sense we've always been sort of associated as a very British band.
So it's nice to celebrate another culture, another city, another place.
and you know, there's no sort of false claims about this. We made it there.
It's a whole new world that's opening up. In some ways it's incredibly familiar because of all the Western brands and advertising and stuff, and in some ways it's a completely parallel universe
It's utterly
entirely.
hermetically sealed in other ways, because we can't read characters, so it's not, there's no clue to what on earth is going on at any point, you know. So it's got that otherworldliness about it, and if you make it,
and that translates to the record.
I think it really has,
and a sense of industry and expansion and it being the future. You know, it's exciting. I found it. Graham, you look terrified.
Extraordinary. Let's hear a track from the new album then, from The Magic Whip by Blur, and this is Go Out. It's Radio 2 and that was Blur and it's Go Out. They're back now, they've got a new album coming out. And it's a brave move because when you reformed before, when you came out, you had such extraordinary highs. You had the Glastonbury experience, you've done the Hyde Park shows. So
that was great, that Glastonbury, wasn't it? But I think
special.
if it hadn't have been for the Olympics in 2012, we were asked to do a show to mark the end of that. And I think if it hadn't have been for that, I think we felt we couldn't really say no to doing that, because it was a lovely thing to be asked. But I think it could genuinely just have never happened again. It's always in danger of drifting apart. But that was just such a fantastic night. London was just ready for a party, and that was probably, I think that was the best show we've ever done. And
I think Glastonbury was the.
Can't even say it.
Well, it was definitely, it was up there. It was a banger. It was a great night.
The point is that you've had some amazing highs,
and that really made us think maybe it was a good idea to go to some places.
I think Dudley JB's was one of our.
That was a keeper.
So how do you want it to compare this time around? Are you hoping for those kind of experiences again, or are there going to be many gigs? I know you're doing the Hyde Park gig.
They'll be different, won't they? And I mean, for us, it's miraculous that this has happened. We really think that it's a lovely record. So whatever happens, I don't know.
Are there going to be many shows? What's the plan when it comes to touring?
No, there's not. I don't know. I mean, we don't even know if anyone's going to like it or what.
Okay, so you're just dipping your toe in at the moment and seeing the reaction.
Well, no, we're going to put the record out. It's not a career. I mean, it's not. This is just something that genuinely happened. I mean, I'm really excited about playing this record. For me, it's like that's the most important thing, to be excited about doing something.
Yeah. Are there going to be some small shows before the big Hyde Park gig, or is it all to be revealed? You're ready to go. You're raring to go. I can see you, Alex.
Yeah, we're going to play around the country, a few warm-ups.
Okay.
Places we haven't played for very, 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 very many years.
Any homecomings?
I think all that's been announced next week, and all that, in all honesty, is still being put together and exactly what we're doing. So,
does it feel different today? Because yesterday you had this massive secret that you'd made the album, and today it's out there. How's it feel?
Well, it's not because no one really knows what the record sounds like, and if everyone wants to listen to the tune once, and having an opinion. I mean, you need a couple of weeks before you really know if you like something or not, don't you?
But you are going to get people coming up to you now going, "Oh wow, Blur are back!" then, and being genuinely excited.
Well, we are back,
which is great.
They're right.
It is strange being able to talk about it. I was talking earlier on to this fan about it, and it felt odd because we've been a bit wound up in the guts, really, not being able to say anything about it.
Can I just ask who you admire at the moment? Who kind of inspires you? Who are the people that you think are the best, at the top of the game?
I really love the new Manchester Orchestra album.
The who?
Manchester Orchestra.
Ooh.
They had an album called Cope out, and then they re-recorded it acoustically called Hope. They just released that at the end of last year. It's absolutely amazing.
Thank you, Dave. Alex?
I love listening to music with my kids, like hearing them all sing Uptown Funk in the car. It's probably
it's irresistible, that track, isn't it?
It is irresistible. I really like Bjork's record.
I had her on the show last night. She was just so wise. Such a good interview. Really good things to say. Final question, the kids, what have they had to say about it? Because your kids are all growing up now, so they must have opinions about,
Mine have just found out.
And what was their reaction?
I don't think they'll be going to bed early tonight. They're very excited.
Are they super, really, genuinely?
Yeah.
Super excited?
They absolutely. They love Blur. It's brilliant.
Is there a Blur track that you can all agree on as a favourite? Is there something I can play now? Not from the new album, something from your past? If I press you.
Play Tender, because that was the one at Glastonbury, wasn't it?
We'll play Tender if that's all right by you. I think our audience will love that.